Hey there, everybody. Good day to you. Just doing a last minute check. Make sure all of our settings are working good here. It looks like we are, so let's go ahead and get started on this. So today I'm really excited to share with you the four main hurdles that any healthcare buyer has to kind of get over in order to make a buying decision with you. So this is like a really foundational element in just understanding how good marketing works and what your potential patients are looking for and need to see in order to choose you as their provider. This is something we teach all of our own staff whenever we have a new person coming into the agency. It's kind of that foundational for us. As just having an understanding. So even if you're not doing your own marketing as a practice, and really most of the larger 7- and 8-figure practices we work with, they'll all have an agency they work with to do that for them. You can at least become an educated buyer of those services. But beyond that, with what I'm going to share here today, it's really important when you have a patient in a consult or report of findings meeting and you're trying to close them on a care plan. If you will watch for these four elements as part of that meeting and make sure that your prospective patient has gotten over each of these hurdles, you'll find that you're going to close a lot more sales in those meetings as well. So let's dive right into it here. I've got a couple of slides I want to share. So let me make sure it's switched over. It looks like we're good to go. So again, this is episode 6 now of the Holy Buckets series. The Holy Buckets series is all about plugging the holes in your marketing bucket. So in the past episodes, we've talked about there being these 4 main buckets that you kind of need to pay attention to in order to reach that 7- or 8-figure status as a practice to bring in new patients. And so in those buckets, we have your online presence. We've been talking about that for the last few days. We have paid ads, which is what we're going to talk about today, then patient engagement funnels, and then your internal marketing. So today, what we're going to really go over is the paid ads. It's something we haven't really gotten into yet, and so I want to really hit that with you a little bit today. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are 4 buying hurdles that every prospective patient, and really this applies to any business, any industry, but certainly is applicable to our experience in the healthcare fields. So the 4 buying hurdles are, you've got to get noticed, and that's really just a matter of getting the right prospect's attention, because if they don't know that you even exist or that your services or products exist, then none of the rest matters. They don't know you exist. They never will know you exist. So that first important hurdle is getting your message in front of the right audience. Then the second hurdle is you've got to create a desire, or you've got to find prospects that already have a desire. Now, this is not a desire for you or your practice. This is a desire for a solution to a problem they have. So they've got to have a problem that you can fix. And we'll get into that in just a second. Then we have the offer credibility. This is where the prospects must believe that your offer, your service, will actually solve their problem. And then finally, we have to jump the seller credibility. Now, this is about you and your practice. And so even if they have the problem, they believe that your particular solution will work for them, they still are going to go around and see, well, maybe somebody else can deliver this service for me as well. And in some of our past videos, make sure you go back and watch those. We talked about and looked at actual real statistics on healthcare buyers, some research that's been done that clearly shows people are still going out in that last stage of the buying process to look for other sellers, other practices in their area that might also be able to deliver that service, and trying to select the best looking practice in terms of your online presence, your reviews, your website, your social presence, all of those things. Let's talk about create desire. Everybody can understand, I think, you've got to get noticed. You've got to have a marketing message that stands out. If you're running Facebook ads, they've got to pop out. They've got to get the person to stop scrolling through the timeline, whether that's your images or videos that are being used, or your headlines, your ad copy. All those things have to stop that person from scrolling, get them to stop for a second and take a look and see that you exist and this solution exists. But this creating a desire, so I'm going to take you guys way back. Hopefully most of you, or at least some of you watching this, will recognize both of these devices. This is the original Apple iPod, and in the original, this is an original Sony Walkman cassette player. Ironically, I had both of these, so if any of you had either one or both of these, drop that in the comments below if you would, please, just to let me know I'm not like the only one who ever had these two devices. My staff are going to give me a hard time about these. But when this thing first came out, Steve Jobs and Apple had this task of how do I market a product that nobody even knows what it is? Usually this is some kind of new technology. We do see this from time to time in the healthcare fields. Stem cells would be one example of that. When it first came out and started, nobody knew what that meant or what they were capable of doing. So the task, as with the original iPod, became how do we sell this? How do we make people aware of what this does? How do we convey the benefits of using this? And if you'll remember back in those days, if you were around in those days, one of his very famous marketing campaigns for the original Apple iPod was, this is a way to put 1,000 songs in your pocket. Versus, if you were lucky, you might get 15 or 16 songs on your cassette tape back in the day. And so it becomes all about creating this desire for something that people might not even know what it is or how it works, or if this will solve a problem that they may or may not know they even have. By the way, I did this research, just today, and so this was, I thought, interesting, totally unrelated. Sorry, this is a rabbit trail. But for those of you who happen to have an original Apple iPod, hold on to those things because a brand new one right now is selling for $1,500 on eBay. All right, so let's get back to the actual information at hand here. So we talked a little bit about creating desire. Part of that is targeting the right people. So this is one of the core problems that new marketers or doctors make when they try to do their own marketing. The biggest issue we'll see with this, twofold. One, you're not carefully targeting the right audience who have the problem you can solve. Let's use a more direct example. Let's say you have a decompression therapy that you offer to patients with back pain. If you go out on the radio and TV or billboards, and that's kind of a spray and pray shotgun approach, you're just putting that message out there, hey, we do decompression therapy, and hoping that someone in that mass audience is going to be paying attention enough and listen, and usually it's going to take repeated exposures. That's kind of a spray and pray thing. Now, there is an absolute place for media like TV and radio and billboards, but that's farther down the line. When you're a 7 or 8 figure practice and you're really trying to establish more brand awareness as opposed to really driving in qualified leads into your funnel. It's a common mistake we see a lot of practices make when they're trying to grow by using those types of media versus something like an online media, Facebook or a Google Ads that are very carefully targeted to the person with back pain in your local area who meets other criteria, maybe financial income type indicators. So it's really important to get the targeting, to get in front of the person who has the problem that you can solve. The other problem that we see often a lot of doctors make is that they will either skip one or both of the offer credibility or the seller credibility. So a lot of doctors will often make the mistake of making their marketing all about them. It's all ego-driven. Look at us. Look how good we are. Look at our great testimonials from happy patients. But they don't do anything about actually communicating that this particular service will take care of your problem. So it's a lot of people don't know what decompression therapy is. They have this vision of you're stretching on the rack, kind of a torture device. And so a good marketing program needs to hit both of those elements. It needs to have the look at us and how good we are and how happy our patients are, because you got to have that seller credibility. But make sure you're hitting at least both of those. Finally, I'm going to bring it all back together. In previous videos, we talked about the whole marketing funnel. And a lot of this stuff I know gets kind of more technical, but I really want to just bring all these together and let you know these are not exclusive of each other. These are all part and parcel of the same thing. You've got to get noticed in this top of funnel awareness. A lot of times we'll talk to clients about, this is a top of funnel campaign, which is designed to let people know you're here and here's the services we offer, versus a bottom of the funnel campaign where you're going to be talking more about we're the best solution. Again, the data was really clear that buyers, even once they know you exist and they believe that your decompression therapy will solve their back pain, they're still going to go out there in the market into Google and do searches for other doctors, other practices in the area that might be better for giving them the decompression therapy. So you've got to make sure you're hitting all of those points the right way in your marketing. All right, so let me see if I can get back here to my screen. Looks like we are. I'm going to wrap up with that. Hopefully you will be able to take away some of this and educate yourself. Again, remember, even in your consults, your report of findings, your closings, your face-to-face meetings with patients, you still need to hit on those last two things, that this will really solve your problem and that we're a great solution for you. We're the best choice to deliver that to you. As always, if you know anybody who you think might appreciate or like to learn about healthcare marketing like this, I would certainly appreciate you sharing. Share the video with them. This is a totally free series. We're doing an experiment here. And I hope that you'll help us by sharing this, or at least giving us a like or a comment or a thumbs up. If there's a particular topic you'd like to hear about or like us to talk about, let me know that in the comments as well. As always, if you, let me get the right spot here. If you would like to talk to us or talk to me personally, we are happy to get on the phone with you, talk about your marketing strategies and what you're doing to grow your practice. We have the good fortune of working with 7- and 8-figure practices all over the country. And so I'd love the opportunity to at least chat about what you're doing, what your plans and goals are for your practice, and see if maybe we can help you get there. Again, thanks very much for your time today, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.